it's a day, it's a time, man. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm excited. They was talking about, like I said, the whole karma thing, man. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Let's see, 84. Be karma, like, bro. And then that ain't coming back. Saturn moving back into Aries, bro. You know, needing something to believe in. Needing something to believe in, man. Yourself, you know. But for real, I just use this one. This one came out, so the next one. No, because the next one's gonna be, you know me. I like 80. I like fives. So 85, OttantaQUATTRO. You play 85? No. 85? No. 85. 55, 60, 70, 50. What? No. So we're going to go with OttantaQUATTRO. We're going to go green-eyed Jim, jealousy. So, yeah, man. For me, you know, man, I'm just talk. This week, man, we gonna have a talk. We gonna have a chat. We gonna have a real talk about this. You know what I'm saying? It's life. So, so, daggone. You need to talk about like your Saturn return. You know, generally around the ages 27, and we just kind of cap it around 32, 33. So that's a good 6 year span. That's why, in general, the Saturn return means Saturn is in the stars. No, I'm not gonna say the rest of the stars. Saturn is back in the position in the sky in which it was and when you were born. So when you were born, Saturn was in a position, and then it takes about 28 years for Saturn to get back into that spot again. So that's why I say between the ages of 27 to 33. So range. Now, at that time, right? Ask anybody about their life in between that time. They'll tell you. Now, for some people, some people lose a lot of relationships around that time. Some people tell you they was in whatever relationship, and then it ended around that time. Between the ages of 27 to 33, it was like, had a relationship, ended. What, you got a choice. That's a relationship. A lot of the time, when they talk about a midlife crisis is associated with it as well. But the thing is, your soul, right, coming back in contact with you and saying, hey, what you been up to, what you been doing. Get rewarded. This is why they say, Saturn, the teacher, karmic lessons. You'll be excited for karma. You've been doing what you're supposed to do. But the first time, it's not really, when it first comes back, in that first part of it, you wasn't probably really aware. And then, depending on what you do and don't believe in, right? There's a bit of conditioning. And you have a choice to either you double down or you decide to shed that skin. Some people talk like an ego death, and that can happen multiple times. I like what somebody said today, though. They said it's not really an ego death. You learn how to live with the ego. You're not so much as suppressed. Some people don't like to a bad or a negative. Who's to say what's bad and what's negative? Well, that was the last time. That was the last time you saw was my 78th. 78 is setantato. Setantato. I have a playlist I have a playlist called Soggetto. I made a video for every one. So you'll be able to see 79, you'll be able to see 80, 81, 82. I just did 83. This is 84. So, the conditioning, right? There's certain things that you may or may not start to believe in. And then you go down the path. You get stuck with that. You get stuck with that, right? Now, the scary part. Italian. I haven't done my intro, huh? Let me do my intro. Welcome to the graffiti jungle. Parlo per lingue. Benvenuti nella giungla di graffiti. It's 555 as I started saying it. Benvenuti nella giungla di graffiti. Questo è Impostore Rockstar. It's the fake rockstar chat show. Pensieri tangenziali. Formerly known as Tangential Thought Chat Show. Shout out to my co-host and doggy Heaven Bailey. I talked to her grave. If I could play fetch with her again. Then podcast Sweet Cigar Top Podcast. Sono tu a capo, io sono. Questo è Soggetto 84. Soggetto è 84. It's the 84th. Sono tu a capo, Chief Gihareh. So, you got a choice. Now, what you do with that chance is your choice. Around that time between coming up into your 30s, you have a choice to lock in with the life that you've been living or lay down that cross and pick up a new life. Because you'll be given the opportunity and chance to really do what your soul is calling you to do. Now, some people take that chance. A lot of people don't. Now, sometimes, again, Saturn does this every 28 years or so. So some people, you see it, they'll get it the second time. And you see another little change around their 50s, going on into their 60s. They hit another little mark and they're like, you know what? Now I'm gonna make this chance. Now I'm gonna take and do what I've really been wanting to do. Some people do it in their 50s. If you live long enough, you'll get another it's just a cycle. 9 is a very cyclic number. So, the thing is, you probably had something that was a bit stable. No horses in the stable. You probably had a stable job. You probably got a stable relationship. Maybe, potentially, maybe. It's not to say that there's better or more out there, but if you got something and you like it and you want to, then lock that down. The choice is yours. Now, if you're not liking it, you don't have to get stuck in it. Again, there's a little bit of stability in certain things. Some people get stuck in relationships because they focus on the history. We've been together this long. It's called the sunk cost fallacy. Some people have this heavy investment. And not realizing that instead of wasting any more of your future time, you can just reclaim your time and end the relationship. Same thing with the job. Now, the job is providing you with a certain comfortability and a certain lifestyle, but you may or may not, you're most likely not living that. For most people, I'm talking general. Most people won't be doing something that they enjoy or love doing. But you can. You now have this opportunity and choice. You can lose all of this conditioning, and you have the opportunity and choice to go ahead and pursue and do what your soul purpose is calling you to do. You can define it for yourself, you know? You have that chance. So, it's just, it may not be that part of the journey may seem a bit unstable. But depending on what you focus on, you may be happier. You may be more free. And mind is, everything is mental, right? If you're able to stick with it and stay with it, even if you believe that there's this abundance, there's this blessing with your name on it, it's not gonna miss you. And you can still reach that same mark and that same achievements doing what you truly want to do. Now, for me, personally, that's how I kind of took it. If I wanted to, I could still be a teacher. I could be a professor. I was a professor. I was a teacher. If I wanted to, I could be a principal. And on that trajectory, I could be a superintendent by now. Quite literally. I have the mentality for it, the personality for it. Thank you for the gift. Let me say thank you. In as many ways as I can say thank you. In Italian, grazie, grazie mille. In French, merci, merci beaucoup. In Spanish, gracias, muchas gracias. Say you're welcome. Prego. Durian. De nada. Thank you in Japanese, arigato. Thank you very much, domo arigato. Thank you in German, danke. Thank you in Chinese, xie xie. Hello in Russian, privet. Thank you in Portuguese, obrigado. So that was what I gave up. I gave up the stable part. I gave up teaching. I gave up education. So I could do what? Focus on my art and my creativity. There's a lot that I lost. And yet there's a lot that I gained. Still learning. Every day. Still learning. So, it's choosing a different life. Choosing a different life. Creating that. Coming into alignment with it. And sometimes I gotta give myself an example of, you're not sure what's it adding up to, what's it doing. I know I'm doing this, I'm being consistent with this, I'm just doing this, I'm just being consistent with that. Small things. Even something so small as, and this is an example that helps me sit with it for a little bit. Right? I could do something as small as leave a piece of trash somewhere, right? But there's someone whose job is to come back and make sure the place is clean. But if I never left that trash there, they wouldn't have to pick that up or do that, right? So that's just an example of a small action that does lead to another action somewhere else at another time, right? So the small actions of things you're taking and doing. Now, depending on how it may go as well, you may sever friendships. You may sever family ties. You don't have to keep experiencing. If you ever had an experience with somebody and you're like, yeah, I didn't like this. And then things get calm or whatever, and then they do it again or do something different. They do something more egregious. And you're like, I don't like this. I don't like you. I don't want you a part of my life. I don't know. Some people, when you had enough, you had enough. Some people are okay with it. For me, I just couldn't be okay with it no more. And I just stopped forgiving people. And one of the things about forgiveness is they say take a little ownership, so you forgive yourself for dealing with certain people for so long. Never again. Now you got a choice, you got a chance and a choice, and you got to say no, never again, right? Choosing is different life, and you got to be totally committed to it. Otherwise, you slip back. So from there, you severed all these ties. Now the thing about that is, let's say that you're the one, right? Like I told you, most people don't have faith. They talk about faith, but when is their life an example of faith? When's the last time you did something on faith? Your life is not a testament of it, but you'll say that you have it. So just imagine, of all the people that may have known you, and they never took that same leap of faith. It comes about in different ways. Some people are inspired by the action that you take. Some people are jealous because they didn't have the confidence to take that step, that leap. It comes about in whatever way. But now you're in such a state that the things that you do and the things that happen, there is no one to blame. Which is one of the things about 2025 for me, was that there was no one to blame. There's no God to praise and there's no devil to blame for the good or the bad. It's taking accountability. And then you continue to live that way. But we like the phrase, you wasn't shooting with me in the gym when I was practicing my free throws. It get lonely sometimes. But just imagine what they'll say. Remember this and remember that? No. I remember when I was by myself, practicing my free throws by myself. So, when I perform a certain way and I achieve certain milestones and I reach certain marks, I'll be happy that I was by myself and there won't be somebody there to say, People like to take credit for the things you do. Some people only help you just to stay nosy in the things that you do. Some people are genuine. You learn to vet it out and test it out. Now I got one more thing. I forgot to put the whole intuition. So we're getting to the end of this. And